Vatican people deny they reject the death penalty. Actually show them where the Bible supports the death penalty. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. What matters is what the Vatican says. That's all that matters, guys. What the Pope tells me. And if you actually say, well, wait a second, what the Pope is saying here contradicts the Bible. Oh, but we don't follow sola scriptura. We're not Protestants. All right, we're not Protestants, but we're not people who reject the Bible either. So you got to be consistent with the Bible here. You can't just, that's the problem. With the Catholics, the Bible is the Vatican. Straight up. Like Protestants will tell you, and a lot of Protestants are ex-Catholics. Protestants will tell you, and they told me this many years ago, over 10 years ago. I remember Protestants telling me this, that the Catholics don't read the Bible, that the Catholics, their church is the Bible. And I thought, oh, that's crazy. And I would use that clever that clever little Catholic answers argument. I would say that the Scott Hahn type argument. I would say, well, they read sacred scripture every Mass. When you go sit down at Mass, they read 2 verses of the Bible. So every Catholic going to Mass is going to be hearing scripture every Mass, and you're going to be hearing 2 verses every Sunday Mass. So we do have the Bible. But when you actually go to Mass and you listen to the priest, this is how it works in the Catholic churches. Now, if it's a trad church, it's going to be a priest or maybe a deacon reading from the Bible, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. Then if you go to the run-of-the-mill Catholic church, which is right next door, they almost always have some woman getting up there reading the Bible, which is the most cringe thing ever. I don't call me a sexist, but there's just something about a woman looking like she's about to go salsa dancing, getting up on the stage and reading out of the Bible. There's just something that's so cringe about that. You know what I mean? Like just keep that in the salsa club. Just stop. Just stop. Go dancing. You know what I mean? And they're always Mexican. All the women who want to read out of the Bible, I don't know why, they're always Hispanic. I don't know what it is with them, but they're always Hispanic. And it's just cringe, man. I don't know. Call me a hater or whatever, a misogynist. I just find it cringe. But they will read the Bible, right? They will read the Bible. Then the priest gets up and he does his homily. And almost never is the homily about any of the verses that were read. So it's true that they read the Bible every Mass. They read 2 scriptures in every Mass. Usually they read a verse from the Old Testament, and then they'll read a verse from the New Testament that connects with the verse in the Old Testament, because you're supposed to read the New Testament in light of the Old and vice versa. But how many times did I ever see the priest get up and preach a homily that was in accordance with the verses, that pertained to the verses that were read? Almost never. Almost never. And one time I went to church and there was this priest. He was a Hispanic guy. There's no doubt in my mind that this guy is a citizen of the Republic of Sodom. There just no doubt. Like the way he would talk like this. And this is my experience. You have to understand, we have the horror stories of the Vatican, of which they are plenty, of which they are legion, right? There's a legion of stories, of horror stories from the Vatican, of people getting molested and raped and all sorts of sick-ass shit. But then you have the surface, right? You have the everyday Sunday experience, the dull, everyday, seemingly unexciting, uneventful Sunday experience in the Catholic world. And there are moments in those times, there are little experiences in the Sunday Mass that happen that tell you that behind the surface, there's a great evil that's being done. So little tiny moments where you're thinking, okay, this is a red flag. Little tiny red flag moments convey to the human mind that something is terribly wrong. It's like the scene Get Out, the movie Get Out, where you have the black guy who has a white girlfriend and he's hanging out with the white girlfriend's parents and everyone's super friendly, but there's something terribly wrong with the whole situation, right? And I remember going to Sunday Mass, and I was sitting at the bench, listening, and they read the Bible, and one of the verses that was read was from Genesis chapter 19, the story about Sodom and Gomorrah. The story about Sodom and Gomorrah. And it was about the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. So I thought, oh, well, how in the hell is this priest going to talk about Sodom and Gomorrah when it's very obvious from the way that he talks and gestures that he's a member of the Republic of Sodom? Because he talks like this when he talks. He moves his hands around like this when he talks. And he's like, hi, everybody. Hi. Which is just... it's just evil. So the priest gets up there and he says, everybody, Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed because of a lack of hospitality. Didn't bring up the realities of Sodom. Didn't bring any of that stuff up. But he brings up hospitality. You know what he says? He says, some amazing families here have served me the best brisket I've ever had. That's hospitality. Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed because of a lack of hospitality. In other words, let's ignore the dark realities of Sodom. Let's just attribute its destruction to a lack of hospitality. Oh yeah, and feed me some damn brisket. This is the kind of shit that I saw, guys. This is the kind of bullshit that I saw all the time in the Catholic world. And that's why I laugh at all this nonsense that I see. And I laugh at the idea of sitting there trying to argue over some Vatican document as if it's the Bible. When I can just, I want to argue with these people. I believe in debating these people. I believe in debating and refuting these people. I have no problem with that. But I'm not going to sit there and argue on their terms. Oh, we have to argue over the document. And no, I'm going to slap you with the Bible. What does the Bible say? What does the Bible say? That's what matters. Because with the Bible, you get the explicit teaching. I don't have to go to an encyclical. I don't have to do any of that stuff. Now, there's certain things where, yes, you need interpretation because some things are not just in your face. Some things require a lot more thinking. But there are certain things in the Bible that require little to no thinking whatsoever. And Sodom is one of them. And I hate the idea of arguing the obvious. I hate debating over the obvious. I hate debating over the obvious. When someone says that the sky is green and you want to argue and say the sky is blue, and it's just, why would you do that? I think that's stupidity, and I think it's a waste of your life to be arguing with somebody over something obvious. If you catch your wife cheating and she's getting pounded by the mailman, and you say, you cheated on me, and she says, no, because he wore a condom, so it's not actually, doesn't really count. Like, that's the level of intellectual dishonesty that we're dealing with here.